All right, everybody, good afternoon. I hope you can see the presentation. All right, everybody, good afternoon. And I hear that you guys are hearing me quite well. So I'm going to just wait a minute until the entire presentation comes up. No? Refreshing the screen. Sorry guys, I'm checking on my monitor to ensure. Refreshing the screen. Hi to the 9 persons watching. I'm just ensuring that you're able to see what the presentation is. How is everyone? All right. Hi, Hunt. All right. So listen up, guys. I'm refreshing the screen. While I do that, let me quickly explain to you read section B. I saw a couple of questions asking about section B. And so I am going to quickly talk about section B, talk about what it is that you might be expected to do in section B, and talk about quickly any other questions you have with regards to section B or any other part of the paper. So what is happening is that persons are not sure what they're expected to do in section B. Hi. All right, so fabulous. Finally, you can see the presentation. So that's awesome. Everybody's seeing the presentation as it should be. Everybody, can you see? All right, so section B is called expository discourse. And expository discourse, simply put, expository writing. For those who are not sure, all of this information is present. Right. Shan, you are correct. All of the information is present as to the types of question that is in section B is present in the updated syllabus, which would be for the 2018 version of the exam. So in section B, you have the different types of letters. You have business letter, and under business letter you have the letter of complaint, you have application letter, you have what else my brain just went blank. Business letter, application letter, letter of complaint, letter of apology, and those types of letter of request. So those types of letters are the types of letters that might come. Additionally, in section B, you have report. You have the eyewitness report, you have the simple report, and of course, you have the statistical report. Yes, letter of request. Also, so you have the statistical report. Now, am I saying that this is going to come on the paper? I don't know what is going to come on the paper. I am basically reviewing the different types of questions that exist in the different sections. Now, once you are prepared, whatever comes on the CXC paper, you should be able to answer. So just to make that clear. Additionally, I know that students generally don't like statistical report writing. I did not like statistical report writing when I was in high school, and so I can relate. But today we're going to run through I'm going to make it as simple as possible, make it as easy as possible. And if at any point you have any questions, please, I am looking at your questions. Please ask and we will run through. All right, so let's also review what statistical report. So a report, before we even go to statistical report, let us review what is a report. And a report is a written document that gives an account of the findings of an individual or group. Or simply put, a report is documentation of something that has already occurred, right? And so that is what a report is. Now, what is statistical report? Now, statistical report is a report that uses figures to convey information. These figures are analyzed by identifying trends and significant figures. Now, can anybody tell me what is a trend? And can you also tell me what is a significant figure? Figures? Sean, I'm not understanding the last comment you made. So simply put, for statistical reports, you are going to be given either tables or graphs or pie charts. And right, hi, Basmet, hopefully, right. A trend is like a pattern. Both of you are correct. Trend is like a pattern. Now, when we talk about statistical report, it's important to note that you need to know the trend, what is a trend, and what is a significant figure. Anybody can tell me, when we talk about significant figures, what are we talking about? Quick, I'm waiting. All right. Now, statistical information, Hunt, I'm not sure. Numbers, what kind of values, high EP, values? Oh, no, a significant figure is basically the figure that stands out the most. So it can be the highest figure or the lowest figure. So those are significant figures because those figures stand out the most. All right. Now, information can be, or statistical information can be presented in bar graphs, pie charts, tables, line graphs, histograms. Yes, Sean, like large numbers. Hi, AP. All right, sorry guys. Once again, my train is passing through. I was here the entire morning, and my train decided that it wasn't going to come. But now that I'm doing this live stream, it is here to stay. All right, guys. So let's go. So these are the different ways in which statistical information might be presented. I want you to also know that statistical information or can be on paper one, in the sense that you won't be asked to write a report, but you might get a chart or a table and questions are asked based on that. So looking at paper one or two, in the sense of comprehension, you might get something along those lines. Not saying that you will. Now, coming again. So a trend is the general pattern or direction or tendency of something. The pattern can be one of increase, one of decrease, or consistent. Let me take away this quickly. I'm just going to fix this rather quickly. or it can be consistent. Let me just write. Meaning that there's no clear pattern, or if there's no clear pattern, it is considered to be a fluctuation, or it's fluctuating, or it's fluctuate. So when you think of increase, you talk about the figures going up. When you talk about decrease, you talk about the figures going down, getting less. When you talk about consistent, you talk about the figures being in the same region, right? And when it's fluctuating, it is going up, down, up, down. So if you think, if you should use your hand to represent the trend, your hand for increase would be going up, 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 up. For decrease, your hand would be going down, 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 down. And for consistent, or the fact that the numbers are consistent, it's going across. No real significant change. It's going across. And if it's fluctuating, your hand is going up and down, up and down. There is no clear pattern when it is fluctuating. Any questions so far, guys? Please let me know. Now, how do we examine trends in the statistical report? As we said, we talk about whether it's increase, decrease, or consistent, but also we need to add some kind of adjective, a word to describe how the trend is. So is it that you have a steady increase? Is it that you have a significant increase? Is it that you have a minimal increase? So there are words that you can use to state how the trend is, right? And that is we call describing the trend. And then we look for fluctuation. So when we're analyzing our table, we need to look at whether there is a trend. And if when you look at the trend, look for trends, you should be able to identify what kind of trend it is. After you have identified the type of trend, you should be able to identify or describe rather describe the trend. And then you also need to look if figures are fluctuating. And once again, you pay attention to the significant figures. Now, when we talk about significant figures, and guys, let me know if you have any question at any point in time, and I will pause and answer your question. When we talk about significant figures, as we said before, the significant figure is the highest or lowest figures. And these are the figures that stand out in the overall pattern or stand out from the overall trend. And so I love to say the significant figure is the hardest part to get. Because simply put, you're looking for the highest and you're looking for the lowest figure. Trini, stop it. You are going to be ready. Don't worry about it. You're just ensuring that we understand everything. All right. So next, let us now look at this sample question, sample statistical report question. Read the table below, or it should say, examine the table below and write a report in standard English based on the statistics provided. Don't be surprised if you are given a word limit. Oh, I'm sorry, Hunt. I'm sorry that. Oh, I am so sorry. Hear what, Hunt? Hear what I'm going to do. After I'm finished with this live stream, I am going to upload this video. And so it is going to be uploaded immediately after so that you can then, anything you missed right now, you can go ahead and write make your notations. What I wanted this video to do is serve as, if you have any questions while I'm going through, you can ask your question. So sorry about that, hon. So sorry. Oh my gosh, Trini, I'm so sorry. All right, guys, I'm going to slow down. It seems like I am going a little bit too fast, so I'm going to slow down. So where, at what point is it that you guys want to make a note of? So I can at least go back a little bit before I continue. Let me know quickly, and then I'll go back. Anyone? No problem, Hunt. Guys, tell me where. All right, great. Hunt, do you is there any point would you want me to go back? Or should I just continue and then post? Let me know. All right, so I guess that is no. All right. So on the screen, you have a table before you, right? This is what a typical question might look like. Great. This is what a typical, all right, you're looking at the table. Great. So this is what a typical question might look like, right? And you might be given a word limit. I've seen a sample word limit somewhere. So the table that you're looking at is tourist arrivals by the thousands to St. Lucia from 2004 to 2007. All right, so this is the information that is on the table. When you're looking at the table, you need to know, look, we're going to analyze the table. So we see here, we see the year, which is down here, and across, we see the country. Also, I want you to note, hi Hilton. Also, I want you to know that you have a totals column here, and you have a totals column here. Everybody with me? So you have a vertical totals column and you have a horizontal totals column. Now, can somebody tell me how many? So we see how many categories? So we have 1, 2, 3. United States, Europe, and we have other CARICOM states. How many years do we see? Okay. How many years? So we have 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. 3 years. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 years, right? So the table covers the 4 years from 2004 to 2007. And you are correct going across. We're looking at 3 categories going across. In a situation like this, we're not going to look at the figures going across immediately. We're going to identify the trend coming down like this. So we're going to look at the different categories coming down. So let us look at, excellent guys, excellent. I'm seeing your responses, good. Let us look at the United States. And as I call the figures, I want you to tell me what kind of trend it is. So it's 14, 23, 25, 36. We're not going to look at the totals column because the totals column in this case would be the total figure here based on all of these figures, or it should be the total figures. So is the trend of United States one of increase? Is it one of decrease? Is it consistent or does it fluctuate? Fluctuate. So somebody's telling me fluctuation. Can I get a couple? Somebody says increase. Can I get 2 more responses quickly? And then we will have drum roll. 2 more responses. So we're looking at the figures 14, 23, 25, 36. Increase, fluctuation, okay. And we're coming down, guys, down this way. This is how we're looking at it, down this way. So note, you are, for those of you who say the trend is increase, you are correct. Because look at this, guys. The figures start in 2004, we start at 14. And in 2005, the figure went up to 23. And in 2006, the figure continued to go up to 25. And then finally, in 2007, the figure went up some more to what? 36. Right. So we realized that the trend, the overall trend would be one of increase, right? Now, can somebody tell me the significant figures for United States? Quickly. I know, Trini. Sometimes it's a little difficult, right? So you have to focus on, so we're looking at United States. Taylor, we're looking at expository discourse, which is section B. And so statistical reports is a form of report, which comes under expository writing. Good. So the significant figures, remember we said the significant figures are the highest figures and the lowest figures. So when we look at it, 36 in this category would be the highest, right? And the lowest would be 14. So these two questions are significant figures. More questions. Oh my God. These two would be the highest and the lowest. Yes, Basmat, what is the question? All right, in this case, because we are looking at the years going across. Now, that is what we're looking at, the years, and it depends on the question. Fabulous. Europe. Let us look at the trend for Europe. Anybody can tell me what's the trend for Europe? So the trend is 21, 17, 27, 23. What would be the trend? 21, 17, 27, 23. Okay, it's fluctuating. Anyone agrees? Okay. So the figures do fluctuate, yes. And so we see from 21 it goes down to 17, then it goes back up, then it goes down. So the pattern is not consistent. It is one that fluctuates. And I think somebody's already given, 2 persons are already giving me the significant figures, which would be 27 the highest and 17 the lowest, right? Do we agree? Right, good. Let's go again for United other CARICOM states. What do we say about that? Other CARICOM states, what would be the trend? Fabulous. What would be the trend for other CARICOM states? Fabulous. And we're looking at 8, 12, 6, 24. 8, 12, 6, 24. Somebody, Andrews already point out the significant figure. Right, 24. Yes, and Paul already point out the thing. Right, 24 and 6. Good. So what about trend? Only Shan and Taylor attempted the trend. So the trend is one of fluctuation. The figures are fluctuating because you have 8, then 12, so it goes up, then it goes 6, then 24. So we see the one. So Taylor, it would not be increased because guess what? We see the figure going down, going up, then down, then up again, right? Yes, Andrews, you are correct. All right, so now when we look at the totals column, the totals column is basically telling us which year was the best year for tourist arrival. So that is the importance of the totals column, the vertical totals column, because it is in line with the years. So if we should look at which year was the best year, which year was the best year, guys? Anybody, somebody tell me which year was the best year for tourist arrivals? Excellent, Andrews. Do we all agree? 2007 was the best year because this is the highest figure. And which year was the lowest year? Fabulous. So we're all in agreement. Which year was the lowest? Excellent. Shan, 2000. Excellent, everyone. 2004. Now, when we look at the horizontal total, we are looking at going across down here, right? So this tells us which country had the highest, right? So which country had the highest amount of tourist arrivals? Andrews, I see you. Yes, I understand that it was a typo. So somebody tell me which country had the highest number of visitors? Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, Hunt, Basmat, Taylor, Paul, correct. And which and the other CARICOM states would have had the lowest, right? So notice that we basically, before you write anything, one of the first things that you're going to have to do is read the question, understand what the question is asking of you, and then you need to know, analyze the table. Hi, we are now going to look at another type of table. Wow. So we're going to look at a line graph. And somebody is going to say, "Wow, this looks hard." But we're going to break it down and we're going to look at it. I know the picture might not be as clear as the other table, but I'm going to walk you through it nevertheless. And it says the following chart shows the quarterly figures of 3 different football clubs in the year 2000. And then you have Greenwich FC, and that is in green right here. You have our, okay, No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're going to take our time. Rovers FC, which is in red. You have Blackpool FC, which is in, which color is that? Purple. And then it says the y-axis, which is this, shows the profit. And down here shows the quarterly, right? Now, we're going through this because I don't want you to see something and you're going to say, wow, this is intimidating. No, it's not. We're going to go through this and I want you guys to grab a pen and a paper if you don't have one. And we're going to make note of some figures as we go through. All right? So first we're going to look and we say, this side, we see the figures starting from 0 to 60. All right, what we're doing is that we're looking at statistical reports. I understand that you're late. What we have done so far is that we have identified trends and significant figures. And so trend is a general pattern of the figures, whether it's increase, decrease, whether it's consistent, meaning it's at the same one level, or whether it fluctuates. And then we're looking at significant figures. Now, everybody you have your pen and your paper? Let's go. So we're looking at Greenwich, and Greenwich starts at 50. And I want you to make note of this dot right here. And on your paper, you're going to write Greenwich FC, and the first figure that you're writing is 50. Right here. Don't know if you can see my cursor right there. I'm spinning this around. Right. So you can see where I'm at. Everybody see my cursor, right? Good, 50. So we're going to write 50 because that would be our first figure. Fabulous. Then we're going to follow the line, and we're not going to care about any other lines. The only line that we care about is the green line that signifies Greenwich. So don't look at any other lines for the moment. We're going to follow one line, right? So you have 50, and we come all the way down, and we're going to stop at the next point, which is, where's my mouse going? Which is right here. Now, when we look at this point and we go across to the number section, we realize that this point is below 20. Can anyone want to guess what figure would you put this at? What figure would you say that is? Is it 18 or is it 19? We're guesstimating. Anybody, what figure do you think it is? Somebody says 18. Okay, 18. All right. So on our paper, fabulous. All right, so between 18 or 19, anyone that we can highly. All right, so we have Greenwich 50, and then we have comma, then we put 18 on our paper. Everybody writing down the figures on your paper? Then we're going to move from this point. Here we are, and we're going to follow the green line and go up. And we're going to stop at this point, right? This would be the point. Listen to me, mouse. Don't play with me. Right, this would be the point. Here it is. Ping, 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 ping. And we're going to go across again. And guys, does this look like 30? Me going across? That looks like a 30? Or is it, that looks like it's in line with 30, right? Somebody says yes to, it looks like it's a 30? Or is it below? Tell me, guys. 30. So everybody agrees that it's a 30? That's a yes? So we can write 30 on our paper? All right. Fabulous. Fabulous. All right. So we're following the grid again. So notice this is the location. And we're coming down the line. Coming down the line to the next point. Here's the next point. I'm jiggling my mouse. And then let me go across to see where this falls. It is above 10 though. I know that it's above 10. So come across. Let's come across. And this looks like what? Is this 12 or 13? Oh, Ippy, you said, all right, around 11, 12. All right, somebody says 12. All right, so let me go again. Yeah, it looks like around 12. But if you put 11, there should not be any issues. And then just because this and this are, the next point is in the same line, comma, it also looks like both points are 12, right? Now, let's just look at the figures that we have for, all right, FC, Greenwich FC. So you guys have 50, 18, 30, 12, 12. Everybody, you have those with me? Now that you have those figures, what would be the trend that you're seeing? 50, 18, 30, 12, 12. What would be the trend? 50, it goes down at 30. It goes down at 18, comes up at 30, and then 12, 12. What would be the trend? Fabulous. I agree. So guys, I want good. It's fluctuating. The figures are fluctuating, or you see fluctuation. I want you to realize something. You notice when you all saw this, you started to freak out. Oh my God, the world is ending. But then when we stopped, when we logically started to break it down, we realized that although this looks super confusing, in actuality, it's simple, right? Let us look at rovers. So let us write on our paper rovers, FC, and rovers is red. Oh, guys, before I go on to rovers, what would be the significant figures of Greenwich? The significant figures would be what? 50 the highest, and consecutively 12 the lowest, right? In the last 2 quarters, we have 12. Awesome. Fabulous. Good. Now that we have done that, let us move to rovers. Everybody with me? Fabulous. So we see rovers starting, the red one, starting at 40. So the first figure that we're going to record is 40. Good? Fabulous. And we follow the line to the first point. Can somebody tell me? Let's guesstimate this point. We're going to go over, it is not 10. It looks a little much like, can somebody tell me what you're thinking? And it kind of looks in a little lower than, all right, somebody says 10. All right, so let me put 11 because it seems a little lower than the figure of this one here. So let me put 11. And then I'm going to go all the way up to the next point right here. And when we go across, it's a little more than 40. It looks like 40 what? Somebody says 10.511. Okay, I love it. I think that was Jamal. Jarmal. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Going across. Talk to me, people. What says you? 41? All right, I'm working with 41. Then we go up again. We're going up. Wow. And we're stopping right here. And this is more than 50. So we're coming across here. Whew. This looks like 55, guys. What do you think? 55 is a good figure? Yes. Or 56? Yeah, 55, 56. And guys, I want you to understand, because there are no figures between, we're kind of trying to ballpark to get and there are no strokes on the table to guide us. So we're trying to, the idea is to get a figure that we can identify the trend. All right, so we're looking at the final point in the FC Rovers. Where am I? And if we go across, guys, can somebody tell me for FC Rovers? Talk to me. Why is my hand not going? Is it, wow, would it be in line with 41? Or is it 42? The road to Pro 50. Road to Pro 50. I am thinking 42 for real. Some others might think 41, but I am thinking 42. So we're in agreement. So that would be the end of our figures, right? So let's look at our figures again. So we have 40, 11, 41, 55, 42. What do we realize? What kind of trend is that? And even when you look at it as well, we see the pattern of the trend. What would be? It's fluctuating. Good. As somebody, and Shan, oh, you used your ruler. That's very smart, Wolf. Good. And Shan, as always, is first in us by telling us that the significant figures are 55 and 11. Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. Now, let us be bad and just look at Blackpool FC without writing down the figures at first. And based on how the lines are, what do you think right off the bat would be the trend for Blackpool FC? Yeah. Do we agree? Fabulous. It is one of increase based on how we see the lines, right? So let us quickly document the figures to see if our initial assessment is correct. So let us look now. So we have the first point, which looks like this is 22. Anyone else agrees that the first point could be 22? And then the next point looks like it is around 23. Road to Port. Okay. See a couple of persons agreeing with me. What about the third point? The third point looks like it is 30. Do we agree? All right, around 20, right, about 22, 24, good, 23, 24. And the fourth point, wow, let's see. I probably need to get a ruler. Like, Hippie, was it you that said you'd use a ruler? Let me see, I don't have a ruler. I'm using a book on my screen. This looks like it is around 50, 45. The fourth point looks like it's around 4. All right, fabulous. 45. What about the fourth point? Does that look like it's around 40, 45? And then the final point. Oh, Wolf, right. It was Wolf who said the ruler. Okay. The final point is more than 50. I'm using a book on my screen. It looks like it's around 51 or 52. Okay, so Hippie saying 46 instead of 45, sure, we can work with that. And the final point, which would be here, would that be 51? Anyone? Everyone with me? And so, somebody said 50, all right, okay, no problem. Around 50, 51, 51, okay. All right, fabulous. So, from what we're seeing, so our approximate numbers are 22, 23, 30, 46, 51. And yes, it seems like the trend is one of increase because the numbers keep going up. Fabulous. Now, the significant figures would be what? What would be? So out of 22, 23, 30, 46, 51, what would be the significant figures? Fabulous. 22 and 51. Good. Good. Fabulous. All right. Coming again. We're going to look at a final type and then we go into a sample statistical report. Okay. Who can see this? Now, this chart below shows quarterly sales figures for the year 2001 for Bishop Chocolate Bars Limited. The vertical y-axis shows the amount of bars sold in thousands. The horizontal y-axis shows the type of bars sold, chocolate bars sold. So we have different colors representing different things. So we have red being razzle bars. We have green being germline. We have banjo being purple and yahoo being yellow, right? Now you look at this and somebody, fabulous, excellent, good, you have seen it before. So you look at this and somebody's like, wow, this looks very confusing. Now, what did we do the last time? Basically, we took a step back and we are going to go through each quarterly. Basically, it's the year broken up in, it's like breaking up the year into three. So this would be the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter, right? And then for each quarter, you see how all the different bars perform. Now, somebody said very easy, fabulous. Now that we have gone, let us look at Razzle. And even without looking at the figures too, how the, what do I call this? The, guys, my brain went dead just now. How the bar is set, it helps us to see also the pattern or the trend, because it starts, we can say this is around 15. So we can say Razzle starts at 15. Yes, if you are correct. Starts at 15 in the first quarter, and we go to the second quarter. Oh my Lord. And the second quarter looks like 20. Does that look like 20? Does that look like 20 or 19? Yes. Wolf. Okay, so I'll change it to 19, right? And then the third quarter looks like what? Is this more than 30? Going across like 31? Does that look a little more than 30? Okay, 31. All right. And then the fourth quarter for Razzle looks around 11 or 10. Right? I'm seeing. All right, so Wolf has used the ruler and is telling us that it is 30. I love it. All right. So what about the last one? 11? All right. So, and guys, we're only going to do Razzle for this one. So we realized that same thing we did with the line graph, we're doing with the bar graph. We see now 15, 19, 30, 11. What would be that trend? What would be the trend here? Good, 11, yes. So it's 15, 19, 30, 11. What would be the trend? Ippy? I love it. Paul is saying increase. Ippy is saying fluctuation. Who else wants to jump in the ring? Somebody else is saying increase. And this is something that we need to talk about, guys. We need to talk about it because the trend should be the overall pattern, right? And in this case, we see increase, and then we see only in 1 year that there is a decrease. So my question to you is, what would be the overall pattern? And that's the question that I want. Somebody says fluctuate. This is the one that we're going to. So in this case, because we have in the first 3 quarters, the figures were increasing. We saw 15, then 19, then 30. We can say the trend is one of increase, except for the final year when there was a significant, final quarter when there was a significant decrease in sales. And everybody understands what I'm saying? So we saw 15, 19, 30. So in identifying and describing the trend, we would say in the first 3 quarters, the sales of Razzle increased, except for the final quarter where we saw a significant decrease in the sales of Razzle. So everyone gets that. Now, let me give you a situation. If, for example, we had started at 15, then went to second quarter, we went to 19, and the third quarter, we went to 11, and the fourth quarter, we went to 30, and I'm repeating the figures. So if we had gone 15, 19, 11, 30, the figure would have been 15, then it goes up to 19, then it goes down to 11, then back up to 13. That would have been that wouldn't have been fluctuation, or the pattern would have been fluctuating, because we saw the figure going up, down, up. But because the figure in the first 3 quarters went up, good, I see somebody following what I'm saying. That is why it's an increase, except for the fourth quarter. So everybody understands what we just did just now? Good. Now, we're going to skip here, and we're going to go into describing the trend, right? So when we talk about describing the trend, we can say significantly declined or increased. We can say slightly improved. We can say rapidly, the figures plummeted, increased significantly, decreased significantly, fell sharply. These are some of the words. And once again, guys, good. Once again, I'm not going to stay on this for too long, because I'm going to upload this video, and you're going to be able to watch the video again and look at this. So these are some of the words. So you have significant increase, significant decrease. You have gradual increase. So if you want to describe the trend, you can use some of these words to describe the trend. Now, I want to get into a few tips before we go to writing, because we need to write, right? Look for the overall trend. That's what we have been doing. Look at trends for specific items. Then we have identified the significant figures. And for those who are just joining, the significant figures are the highest and the lowest, right? Then we look when we're writing, although we're writing the report based on figures, you should structure your report in paragraphs. So your report should be in paragraphs, right? So these, and finally, guys, I didn't put it on there. What I love about statistical report is that you don't need to provide any reasons for anything. So you don't need to say, well, the figures were these because this happened. No, you don't put your opinions at all. The only thing you're doing is that you're writing about the figures that are there. That is it. Yes, you can say, yes, you can say steady increase, then a significant decrease. Yes, Basmat, you can say that. All right, now, sample statistical report. This is where we're at now. This table was taken from a complete English course for secondary school, book 4, and this was published in 2004. So just in case anyone is wondering where this sample came from, that is where it is from. All right. So we're going to quickly analyze this table, and then we're going to look at, in terms of what exactly, we're going to look at a sample statistical report based on this, right? So production of 4 crops in Santa Aripo in ton in one, I think 1,000 tons. So every number represents 1,000 tons. And I want you to know the table is structured a little differently, but let's look. So we have the year right here, and notice the years. How long is the period? It's 2007 to 2000. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 years covered, right? Then, if you go down below the total right here, you see the projected year of 2020. So there is a projection as to what will happen in these crops in this year. But let us go back up here. So we cover 4 years, and then we look at the different categories. And here we see crop. And so when we look here, we see sugar, banana, rice, peas. These are the different crops that are covered in this table. And once again, we see 2 totals column. We see the total, the vertical total, which everyone would remember from our first table that we analyzed, looks at the year. Basically, this tells us in each year, the amount of crop that was produced. And so we're looking at the significant figures here. And then down across the bottom here, we see the total for each crop, right? And so basically, this tells us which crop did the best in this. So yes. And sorry guys, I got a little tongue twisted there. And across the bottom here, you see the projection for each crop, right? Hopefully we're on the same page. Now, let us look at sugar. And I am not going to say anything. I want you to look at sugar right here and tell me, what is the trend for sugar? Look at sugar and tell me what would be the trend. I'm not saying anything. Giving you less than a minute. Wolf is giving me the significant figures. So everybody's saying it's fluctuating. Okay. All right. So I think you guys are having a problem with the vertical analysis, you know. All right, so let's look at sugar again. So we have 100, then we have 150, then we have 100, then we have 50. So what is that? I think you are correct. I think you are correct. So the figure went up, then it went down. Wait. The figure went up, then it went down, then it went down. Somebody talk to me. So do we say that the figure is fluctuating? I think. Guys, oh my gosh. Guess what, guys? For sugar, this right here should be 100, 200, 150, 200, and 250. Darn it. 100, write down these figures for me, please. 100, 150, 200, 250. Please write down those figures for me, please. So it's 100, 150, 200, 250. And I'm going to post this all in a blog post so that you can see it, and the corrections would be right. Thank you, Hippie. 100, 150, 200, 250. Thank you, Hippie. So it should be increase. Right. So I'm going to post this table again in the blog, and the corrected figures will be on it in a blog post. All right. Look at the next one now. Banana. Banana is correct. 200, 250, 150. Thank you. So increase. Okay. Look at banana. 200, 150, 150. Thank you. Awesome. Decrease. And the significant figures would be? Yes, banana is decreasing. Awesome. And what would the significant figures be? Awesome. So 2007 with 200, and in 2000 we have 50. Fabulous. What about rice? Talk to me about rice. Cherise, are you saying that rice is decreasing? I'm seeing Wolf saying increase, Mill saying fluctuating, Paul. So we see 11, 20, 14, 18. So it starts at 11, goes up, goes down, and goes back up. So it's fluctuating, all right. Talk to me about peas. I bet you're not going to be able to get peas. Oh, before I'm super excited. I'm going before myself. What are the significant figures of rice? Is it 20, 2008, and 11, 1997? Am I correct? All right. 20 and 11. Some people say 18 and 11, but 20 would be higher than 18. Good. We're seeing the responses. So remember, the significant figure is the highest and the lowest. Somebody says peas is fluctuating, hippie. Ooh. Do we agree? Increase for peas? Ooh. Oh, you never saw the 20. Okay. Okay. So do you say that peas is increasing, or is it increasing, is fluctuating? Road to 50 said that he was lost. All right, Hilton, I see where your mind is. I bet you nobody is going to get. Now I get what you're saying, road to 50. Okay, peas fluctuate. Tell me when you're ready to cry, Cree, everybody. If you're in Jamaica, you know what that means. Tell me when you're ready to cry, Cree. And you want me to reveal the trend for peas. Tell me when you're ready to cry. Somebody please cry. Type Cree. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so everybody insisting that peas is fluctuating. Okay, somebody Hunt said increasing. So Basmat said consistent. Why are you saying consistent, Basmat? Because I'm saying I am showing shade on all of your responses. Tell me, what does it mean to be consistent? Oh, that's what you're asking. When something is consistent, it is in the same wave, same pattern. So for example, either the figure remains same in 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, or it might be 10, 11, 10. So it's in the same wave band. There are no significant increases or decreases. Somebody says, Cherie said, not sure. Okay. Shan said, ready, ready, ready. All right. So the trend for peas is it is consistent. And let me explain to you why. Although in this case, the figures seem to be going up and down, up and go down, all the figures are in the same bandwidth. It's between a 0, a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 bandwidth. And so in essence, the figures, there's no major increase, no major decrease. And so it would not be fluctuating. Instead, it's in the same, somebody says, Shanson. So instead, it's in the same category. And so because it's in the same category, the figures are more or less consistent. I think I just had a power outage. Guys, can you see me? Are you guys seeing me? I'm just going to wait. Let me pull up my phone to ensure that you can see me. Oh, Lord. Okay. Oh, Lord. All right. So you are, in fact, seeing me. I'm happy about that because the electricity literally just went. All right. So fabulous. So you're able to see me. So as I was saying, the figures are in the same range. And so because the figures are in the same range, basically it is consistent. Now, can somebody tell me the significant figures, please? Can somebody tell me the significant figures? And oh, somebody asked, what is the most, okay, what is the most that it can go? All right, when I was learning to do statistical report, I think they said that between, say, between 1 to 5. Keep it within that. Or, for example, if you have figures like 10, 10, 10, 10, and then you have a figure of 20 at the end, the overall trend would still be consistent, right? So you are correct. So the significant figures are 10.2 in 2000 and 9.9 in 1999. Fabulous. Now, let us quickly look at um, the totals column. No, before we go to the totals column, let us look at the projected year. Now, we're looking at the projected year of 2020. And if you look at the bottom down here, right? We're realizing that this is supposed to be, the 50 is supposed to be 250, right? That's what it's supposed to be, 250 right here. Sorry about that, guys. If you look here, you would have seen that they're projecting that the figure is going to do what? Somebody tell me. They're projecting that the figure is going to do what? It's going to be one of what? Waiting. So if this is supposed to be 250, and so in the projected year of 2020, they're projecting that the figure is going to, somebody says, sharply increase, increase, increase. It's going to basically double. So from 250 to 500. All right? Wolf is, all right. So let me explain what we're doing. The projected year in this sense is that for each crop, they are projecting that by 2020, the crop will do this. So if we're looking at here, that's 250, and sorry again, guys, significant increase. I like that, Shan. Hunt, we're at the projected year. So from 250 to down here. So from 250 to 500, that's a significant increase. Now, let us look at bananas. If in 2000 it is 50, what is the projection for 2020? It's going to stay the same, right? So if there is not going to be any increase, it's going to stay the same. Good. For rice, if the projection in 2018, in the projected year of 2020, we're expecting that the production of rice, or the production of rice is going to do what? Production of rice is going to do what? It's going to increase. Right? Then if we look at 10 right here, when we look at peas in 2020, we realize that the crop is going to remain the same. The production of the crop is going to remain the same. What do you want me to repeat, row to 50? Tell me, where did I lose you? Where did you get lost? Please let me know and I'll repeat. So just to ensure that you're understanding what I'm saying, we are looking at this thing down here, the projected year. That's what we're looking at, this projected year down here. And we're looking at it not at the total level, but we're looking at it from the 2000 level. And looking at from 2000, year 2000 down here, what is the projection? What I'm going to go to the total, Paul. I'm going to the total, but I wanted to deal with the projected year before dealing with the total. All right. Everybody's with me so far? I'm going to the total, Paul. Now, in our previous table, okay, now I get what you're saying. All right, so in our previous table now, so guys, we're not looking at the total yet. So pretend there's no total when we're talking about what just now with the projected year. We're looking at the year 2000 and the final figures for the crops. And then we're going down to the projected year and looking what was the projection. And the projected means what you think will happen in the year 2020 with the production of these crops. That's what it's meant by projected year. Now, when you look at the totals column now, we look here for the total of the crops. We see that sugar was the leader in producing the largest produced crop was sugar. We saw that banana was second, rice was third, and peas was fourth. So the highest produced crop was sugar, and the least produced crop was peas. Everybody see that? So that's with regards to the horizontal total at the bottom right here, right? Now, for the vertical total, for the total amount produced over the years, we realize that, which year was the highest? We realize that 1998 had the highest production, was the highest in terms of production. We saw that 2000 was the second, and third was 1999, and fourth was 1997. So the highest year for production was 1998, and the lowest year was 1997. Yes, Sean. Good. Now, everybody, so we have basically analyzed our entire table. So after we have analyzed our entire table now, we will basically know what to write in our report. Now, let us go to our report. The first part of our report of any type of writing you're doing is your introduction, right? Press enter. Now, this is a sample of the introduction. A report on the production of 4 crops in Santo Aripo, 1997 to 2000. A survey was conducted on the production of sugar, banana, rice, and peas in Santo Rico between 1997 to 2000, and projections were made for the year 2020. The following results have been obtained. And guys, sorry for this line. This line is basically my cursor. Now, this would be, hi, George from Grenada. Welcome. What is the word limit? It depends on what the question asks. It can be 150, but it depends on the question. Gaming. Now, this is our intro, the sample intro that was taken from a comprehensive, a complete course. A complete English course. The important thing you need to remember in your intro, you need to tell the years that are being covered. You need to tell the crops or the categories that are being covered. And you need, so basically you can say, a report of the production of. So basically, going back to the table, for your intro, you're telling here, this must be mentioned, the crops must be mentioned, and the years must be mentioned. That's it. What page? A complete English course for secondary school, not the comprehensive English course. It is on pages 269 to 270. And guys, I'm going to post the entire report on the blog immediately after I'm finished here and share the link below so that you can see the report in its entirety. All right, and I'm going to also make a note of the reference book and the pages. Why not 2020? Hunt, I'm not understanding the question. And projections were made for the year 2020. No, because, oh, I think I understand what you're saying, Hunt. In that, why not say 1997 to 2020? I think that's what you're saying. No, because we need to make note that 2020 was a year by itself that we saw projections being made for that year. If we should say 1997 to 2020, it would have meant that the table did not cover 4 years. It would have covered 4 or 5 years. It would have covered the years between 1997 to 2020, which would have been incorrect in our report here. Hopefully you understand that explanation. Now we're going back to the report again. So you're welcome, Hunt. All right, so guys, I'm coming back to the table. Which crop do you think is the first crop we're going to talk about in our report? Somebody tell me quick. So we have done our intro and we have basically said what our report is going to be about. Which crop would be the first crop that we talk about in our report? Look at the table again. Excellent. So far, we're coming along, ma. We're coming along. We're coming along. Sugar, sugar, sugar. You guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. Good, good, good. Fabulous. So we're going to talk about sugar. And everybody remember what we said about sugar, right? Now, sugar. So in the next paragraph, we have sugar. The highest total recorded was, guys, I think I just typed, that should be 250 in 2000, while the lowest was 100 in 1997. Guys, please, sorry for this. This will be corrected when I post it on the blog. So that's 250 and the lowest. So in this version of the report, what the writer decided to do was to start with the total, the totals column. If you're writing your report, you can start with the trend, and there's no problem in starting with the trend. So after mentioning the totals column, the writer went on to say sugar production was seen to steadily increase by 50 each year. Sugar also registered the highest total production of the four crops over the period 700. In the year 2020, it is anticipated that sugar will be 500, doubling the 250 of 2000. And that's basically it, guys. Now, somebody is going to ask, Miss, what if I want to put the trend first and then the totals? No problem. It is up to you. What you need to, however, include, you need to ensure that you talk about your trend. You need to ensure that, and I think this is the significant figures, which is here. So you notice the writer talked about the trend here, then the significant figures here, then they made mention of the total and the projected year. All of it. You decide how you want to structure. If you want to talk about the trend first, then you want to talk about the significant figures, then you want to talk about the total, no problem. That is okay. But what I want you to understand is that all you're doing is presenting the facts about the figures that were presented on the table. That's all you're doing. That is exactly all you're doing. Everybody gets where I'm coming from? Any questions before I move on? Yes, and that is why they want facts. And that is why, going to the point, that is why it's expository. Because the fact of expository writing is that expository writing provides information and a lot of times provides factual information. And so, because of that, you are providing to your reader facts of the situation. Now, going back to after sugar, what are we going to talk about next? Yep. Somebody tell me, what are we talking about next? Banana. Good. And everybody remembers, somebody said, road to 50 banana. Okay. And remember the trend is one of decrease and all of that. So the next one is banana. Notice the writer used a transitional word here, fabulous. And then the writer said 1997 was the best year for bananas, with the highest total production figure was 2000, while the lowest was 50 in two. And notice, guys, I want you to note that they mentioned the year and they mentioned the amount for the significant figures, right? And then they said production was seen to steadily decrease, also describing the trend. And in some cases, if there's a clear pattern of decrease, you can say the amount it is decreasing by per year. Despite this, bananas still recorded the second highest total of 500 of the four. This should be FOUR four crops. In the year 2020, it is expected that banana will remain until we see the projected year being mentioned. So, guys, notice what this writer has done. The writer has a set formula in which the writer say, okay, the first thing I'm going to talk about is significant figures. Then I'm going to talk about trend. Then I'm going to talk about total. Then I'm going to talk about projected year. And you're going to note for all the different categories, that's what the writer does. Now, personally, for me, I would start with trend, significant figure, then total, then projection. But once again, the important thing is that one, you structure your statistical report in paragraphs. Two, you ensure that the trends, the significant figures, the totals, that's there. As long as the information is there, as long as you structure it in paragraphs, you must get the marks. That's what I'm thinking, all right? And the next crop, and I'm going to be moving a little faster now. So if at any point you have any question, let me know. And the next crop would be, of course, rice. Okay, everybody with me? Good. And then after rice, you know, peas. Good. Rice. The current third highest produced crop, rice, reflects much lower statistics than the other two previously mentioned. The highest total recorded for rice was 20 in 1998, while the lowest was 11 in 1997. Rice production fluctuated over the 4 years, increasing in the third highest total of 63, but an astronomical increase of nearly twice the amount of its whole number, 100, is projected for 2020, which will be elevated to the second highest crop produced. Let me explain that for a second. Down here, what the writer is doing for the projected year, this would be for the projected year the highest, the second highest, the third highest, and the fourth highest. So just in case. So in the writer, first highest, second highest, third highest, fourth highest. So, sorry. So that is what the writer is mentioning down here. Also note that the writer explains that the 100 that is supposed to increase to, and I'm going back a second, here it would have been 18 right here in 2000, but in 2020 it is, I'm going to answer your response. In 2020, it is 11. It is 100, sorry. It's 100. So that is why the writer says that it's almost twice the amount. Now, for Hunt, this example that you have been given here, the question did not come with a word limit. So unless there's a word limit, then around 250 to 300 words, 250, try to keep it as brief as possible. I'm not sure if you're going to get a word limit in that section, but if you do, please bear the word limit in mind, just to answer your question. And then finally, we have peas. And I'm moving a little faster, guys. So peas, the final crop, peas, was always the least produced crop, and it remained more or less constant in 10. So in the region of 10, only very marginally increases or decreases were recorded. It is expected to remain unchanged at 10 in 2020. And that is for peas. Now, guys, let us look back at the table. We have done rice, we have done sugar, banana, rice, peas. We have also mentioned the projected year. Can anyone tell me what it is we have not written about, or we have not mentioned so far Somebody please tell me. Ah, C persons are with me. Yes, the totals column we have not mentioned. Good. So after you have done the different categories, then you do your total. Somebody, I am going to answer Hunt. How much line should we write? Basically, Hunt is not about the line. And guys, when we talk about word limit, remember that you're being marked for content, organization, and grammar, basically in all the different areas of the paper. And so you are expected to ensure, especially if you want to get the marks for content, that you talk about the areas that they're looking for. So, for example, for statistical report, you have to talk about the trend, you have to talk about the significant figures, and you have to talk about the total. You need an introduction, right? You don't necessarily need a conclusion, but you must have an introduction so that the reader knows what your report is about. So, to put it simple, that is what is we're looking at. What happens if we go over the word limit? I know definitely for summary they basically stop marking at the word limit. For the other areas, for the most part, I doubt that students go over. Most times students don't go over the word limit. Most times it depends on the area. All right, so total. Now let us look at totals, and the reason why they put totals is because they're looking at here and they're looking at here. All right, but if you put total, no problem, but that's the reason why there's a totals mentioned. So overall the figure of 1304.2, and sorry, wrong way, and this is seen here. Just to make mention for those who are a little wondering where that figure came from, tons of produce was recorded over the survey period. All right, and going back again, so this tells us the amount of tons of produce was recorded. Ranking in descending order, right? From highest to lowest descending, we have sugar, banana, rice, peas. And once again, these figures are from the, These figures are from the horizontal. So 700, 500, these figures are from here. Then we have, there was no significant change in the total production for each year, which fluctuated marginally between here, and notice this is what the writer's done to say over the period, there was no, for the years, there was no significant change here because they were in the same category. Basically 0 to 10 category. However, it is expected that in the projected year, the total production will double. And just to explain to you here, this will be, but in this year, this is this. Right? Now, and it says, enclosed with this analysis as a table for your consideration. And there should be a full stop here. And then below it, it says, respectfully submitted, comma, a researcher. And then this is it. That's it. That's the end of the report. That's the end. That's the end of it. Wolf, I think worrying about finishing is a logical concern. What I will suggest is that each area of the paper, CXC gives you a recommended time that you should spend on the area. I have a student who I saw this week, the week that went, was doing a section of the paper and he had a stopwatch on his hand. And what he did was type in the amount of time that was recommended for the area, and the watch was counting down. And so I never thought of that, but I thought that was very ingenious. Also, I would suggest you take your watch, get a watch. If you don't own a watch, borrow a watch from your parents, get a watch. Take it into the exam. And in the exam, you basically, if you are at 12, the time is, or sorry, 8:30, and you know that you are expected to, the suggested time is 30 minutes, for example, you make a note to glance at your watch, and your watch don't even have to be on your hand. You can put it on the table and you glance at it. If you don't have a watch, there is always a clock in the exam room, and you make note of the time. So please make note of the time and time yourself. Um, Road to 50. While I'm talking, guys, here is a sample question that you can write, and you can do this sample and send it to me. For those who have sent me questions, I am in. Yesterday and Friday was horrible. Friday was a very hectic day for me, and yesterday I spent the entire day with my students, just trying to brush up any areas of concern. And so when I came home yesterday, I was exhausted. And so after I'm finished with these live streams, I'm going to go into my inbox and I'm going to respond to your messages. All right, so bear that in mind. So if you have sent me an email, I am not ignoring your message. It's just because the last 2 days were pretty hectic. Miss, is it okay to use words, grammar like hence, does, no, if it's okay, road to 50, I would recommend it. Hence, does, on the other hand, nevertheless, these are words that are going to make your organization grade that much better. And so I would not recommend you use them for summary because every word counts for summary. But in the other writing, of course, use them up. Connect your ideas, make your ideas flow. All right, so I'm going to be doing one more. Okay, somebody says letter of complaint. I'm going to be doing one more expository video. And basically, the thing about letter of complaint is that, all right, guys, for the expository letters, the thing that you need to know more than anything, you need to know the letter structure, right? Once you know the letter structure, and we did, guys, which video we did that we looked at letter structure, letter to the editor. Once you know the letter structure, what you then need to know is the different content that should go into the body of the letter. So it doesn't matter what kind of letter that you get. Once you know the different content that should go in the body, then you are good. You should be fine. All right. I think, Paul, on the channel, there is a sample paper one video that was done for paper. There was a sample paper one video that was done that that you can look at, and you can watch it. So there are other videos on the channel that you can do. Should I write my story first? George, that's up to you. Your strategy is up to you guys. And while we're talking, guys, hopefully you're writing off the sample question that's there. Your strategy is up to you in terms of what it is you want to write first, what it is you want to write second. It's up to you. But the most important thing is that before you do anything on the paper, I will recommend you reading the entire paper. I know it might seem your heart is pounding and your hand is sweaty. Before you do anything, read the entire paper. Go through the entire paper. While you're going through the entire paper, there's a section for notes. You start to make your jottings as to what it is that is coming to your mind. Make your jottings. And after that, then after whichever section you want to start, you start. But remember to time yourself, and remember that do not leave any section undone. Because I've had kids where they've spent so much time on the story that by the time they get to section D, they're exhausted. They don't know what to write, and they get flustered, and they just don't know. And so a lot of the key to passing the CXC exam is to be very strategic in what you're doing. And so immediately if you don't finish the exam, you don't do a section, you would have lost the entire marks. So yes, you love to write the story, but don't spend an hour writing a story. Yes, you love to do, you get what I'm saying? And if I don't see though the paper one. All right, I'm going to go through. If there's none, I'm going to quickly do one. All right, so guys, the next live stream, and I'm going to change the time to 3:30. What is the percentage grade for paper one? Hold on. Let me look at the syllabus here while I'm talking. I am not remembering the percentage off the top of my head, and I don't want to tell you crap. So let me look at the syllabus while we're having this conversation. Excellent question, by the way. I was saying, all right, so the allocation of marks. So it says that paper one is 1 hour and 30 minutes, and the percentage of the marks for paper one, just ensuring yes, is 29% for paper one. 29% for paper one. For paper two, 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's 50% of the assessment for paper two. And I think the SBA, yes, the SBA is 21%. Paper three would be the same amount as percent as the SBA. So paper three would be 21% for paper three. Hunt, yes, paper one, 29%. All right, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift the summary writing video to 3:30, and then if you want, you can come back. If you want, you can come back at 3:30, take a break, have some dinner. I am going to post the entire copy of this to the blog in terms of the entire sample statistical report. And then you guys can come back. This video will be posted on the blog. So if you want to look at it again after we're finished, you can. Wolf said, Miss, if you're slow thinking, meaning what? Your brain takes a long time to process information? Oh, all right. So you have four. Walsh, what is the trouble you're having? Let me know, please, so I can rectify that. All right. What I can do, Paul, I can do paper one today. What is it? Is it that you're having trouble loading it? And sometimes it is because of your Wi-Fi as well. In terms of your Wi-Fi speed, it might cause a trouble. Mohammed, I cannot tell you the amount because it is a band in terms of, it depends on the bandwidth for that year. Mohammed said, how much do you need to get? No, what I'll do, paper one, is just find a sample paper one and just run through sample paper one that's there. Find an actual paper one, practice, and run through. Walsh, I was saying that. Oh, all right, Walsh. I'm taking up my phone right now to look at WhatsApp. I was not looking at. All right, well, so I'm going to, after I'm finished here, I'm going to listen to your message and respond to it via WhatsApp. All right, guys, that's basically it. If we have no other questions, Wolf, how to think more fast. I am going to think about it some more, and then in the next live stream, just ask me the question again, please. There's no one answer, Wolf, to answer that question. I'll have to think about it some more. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. And I'm going to change the time. So come back at 3:30 thereabout, and we will talk about summary, and then we will see where to go for paper one. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great night. Great dinner, great evening, great everything. Bye-bye, everybody.